Welcome to the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports, presented by APM Music. You're watching Week 6 of the SFL's 20th anniversary season. Good evening, I'm your studio host, Cameron Irvine, and tonight we have a matchup between the Los Angeles Lycans and the Tulsa Desperados. The Lycans have their backs against the wall. At 0-4, the season has been a bit of a mess, but the defense doesn't give up much. The third-ranked pass defense and total defense coming into the week. What it doesn't do, though, is force turnovers. The Lycans just 6 takeaways, third worst in the SFL, and Tulsa doesn't give the ball away much either. Desperados have the 6th fewest turnovers through 5 weeks with 7, but they struggle to move the ball. 329 yards per game, third fewest. It's strength on strength, weakness on weakness in the first meeting between these two franchises since July of 2020. Keep your eyes on Los Angeles' Chris Lee, 419 yards receiving on 17.5 yards per catch. That's 13th best in the SFL. On the flip side, that Tulsa defensive line can get in the backfield. Desperados have 34 tackles for loss, 7th best this season. 6 skill players for Tulsa have scored this season as the Desperados try and avoid upset and get back above 500. It's Los Angeles and Tulsa coming up next on Next Level Sports. When we come back, we head to Lucy Red Stadium where Colin and Rick Northrup have your call. We'll see you back here at halftime.
The beautiful shot, Tulsa, Oklahoma, as the Desperados play host to the Los Angeles Lycans here in the Sooner State. Welcome to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Visit Lucy Red Energy Drink at lucyred.com and see why the energy is amazing. Rick, we got 2 teams in vastly different situations here as we're coming into week 5.
Yes, and depending on where you are in the lower 48, good afternoon or good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tulsa. Yes, Colin, we've got, as Cam noted in the open, strength on strength, and these two haven't met for a while, so maybe we'll get a little tasty matchup here.
Tulsa trying to clear the logjam below Minnesota in the Central Division. They got 2 or 3 teams tied at 2-2. They lost last week to Sioux Falls 31-20. Los Angeles trying to get in a win column for the first time here in season 20. And Sully Richardson set to call the coin toss for his team. And it is heads, so the hometown Desperados will actually put their defense on the field first. Sully Richardson and company.
Yes, sir. Lycans in their white unis tonight, Colin, is that correct?
Yes, and
Tulsa featuring
teal bottoms, teal
tops.
Teal tops with gray pants as Brooke Beisel is set to kick things off.
Want to remind everybody, we got the Rick meter here in town with us this evening. I know we're excited about that. And Denver the service dog. And we're underway here in Tulsa.
The return by Shea Carroll at a touchdown return. Early this season gets whacked down at the 24. And get our first look at Sully Richardson. The quarterback, Logan Jack, is the halfback. Wide receivers, LZ Pryor, Chris Lee, and of course Shea Carroll. Tommy Rahman is the tight end. Jack Flash is the other tight end. Left tackle is Jamarcus Candy. Right tackle, Vladimir Dunham. And Bob Dunham is the center. Number 66, Richardson in the gun, 5 wide against press coverage from Tulsa. He throws, and it's nearly intercepted on the first play from scrimmage. Knocked down there by Tulsa.
Let's say those were maybe just shaking off the cobwebs or the rust, whatever metaphor you want, Colin. There was no pressure at all, and he throws it right to the defender.
Chris Andrews, Berto DeMora are the defensive ends. Mike Mello and Jaden Swift are the defensive tackles. Inside linebacker knocking away that pass was Miles Gibson. He's joined by David Ware and Philadelphia Collins.
Knocking it away with his hands of stone.
Here's the give to Jack. Jack trying to find some room, but he'll end up losing a yard back to the 22-yard line.
Good penetration and stringing it out by the Tulsa defense. Just no hole opened up there.
Nate Headslep, Jay Rock, and Cameron Shaw are the corners. Rock is the free agent, comes over from Canton. Travis Arthur and Marco Swift are the safeties. As Richardson throws, he's got a man open. It's caught for the first down. Jack Flash jumps up and nabs it at the 39.
That's right. And, maybe they need to just be under a little bit of pressure there as he fires a rocket right into the window there. No?
He did fire it into the window. Upset eye formation. One receiver tight to the wing for Richardson. Give to Jack his second carry. Logan Jack explodes first down the middle. Broken tackle up to the 40, and he'll be tackled at the 35 by both Gibson and Shaw.
Takes a duo to bring that man down. Broke a tackle or two on the way. Let's see. Does he even get touched before he gets to the line? No. There's one broken tackle, and then a gang tackle.
This is a Los Angeles team that only averages 57 yards on the ground. Declan O'Rourke and Ron Ains are statisticians keeping track of the facts and figures for us.
And they got a significant amount of their game average just on that one play. How long was that run?
That was 26 yards. He lost 1 yard in the first carry, so he's at 25. Pitch. Jack will lose another yard here in the backfield. Berto DeMoro with the tackle for loss.
Well, maybe their composite average is an equal amount of plus 'em ups and take 'em aways.
For DeMora, that's his 8th TFL coming in. Mike Mello also has 8. Chris Andrews, the other defensive end, has 5. And Jaden Swift has 6. So these guys like to penetrate and make stops in the backfield. Jack again on the carry, gets through the traffic, and gets knocked down at the 31-yard line.
There we go.
Set up a 3rd and 6 for Los Angeles, and the Lycans only convert 53% on 3rd down. Tulsa allows 60%. So it's a weakness on weakness. As Richardson fires complete. Oh, it's going to be just a chest hair short of first down. Shea Carroll on the reception. And it looks like Sid O'Lindy will be on for the field goal attempt for Los Angeles.
Could be a great start for Los Angeles, Colin, if they can break the seal here and get 3 points in their opening drive.
Here is a offset I formation. They're lining up to go for it appears.
The ritual burning of the first half timeout, ladies and gentlemen.
And it looks like nobody's moving. Play clock at 3, and they called timeout.
There we go. You know, I think timeouts are more valuable than what some of these SFL coaches think. But be that as it may, one goes by the boards. I'll point out to everybody, Jack's data supplies the line and the over-under. Tulsa's giving 7.5.
Over under 50.5.
Right. Expecting a little bit of scoring in this game, I suppose. Mostly on the Tulsa side. Or the slide rule crowd over at Jack's data.
Here's O'Lindy. He's perfect on his field goals. So far, he's 5 of 5, looking to go 6 of 6.
Pressure.
It's good from 42. And with 7:45 to go here in the opening stanza, Los Angeles strikes first.
There we go. Looked like Tulsa was trying to, I don't know if you call that the block. They had a block play, but they did get some penetration in the line. O'Lindy, unfazed, nails it.
8 plays, 51 yards, taking up 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Here, and we will get to see JQ and the rest of this Tulsa offense as the return by the ever-dangerous Gabriel Manning up the middle. It's tackled at the 24. And that's where JQ, the quarterback, number 10. Douglas Brown, the halfback, number 24. Gabriel Manning, wide receiver, number 18. Lars Bittler is the fullback, number 40. DJ Hume, Corey Jones, Sons of Robinson join Manning in the receiving corps. DJ Bandit's a tight end. They have a couple of offensive linemen. We'll get to those after this play. Is Q over the middle, fires complete for about 9.5 yards to Bandit out to the 34.
That was a nifty play, Colin, as that snap was low. And as he brings it up, almost goes right into his throwing motion and just kind of lollipops that ball out over the middle for first down.
Will Stevens is the left tackle. Phoebe Collins is the left
second
guard.
and short. My apologies, second and short. Please continue, Colin.
I formation. Give off to Brown. Brown will actually lose a yard back to the 33. Garrett Hudson already his second tackle. And he's joined out there in the outside linebacking core by Buddy Blaze, who feels like he's been here forever. Tazzy Blackwell is the inside linebacker, number 42. Gary Marks, the second overall draft pick, Robert Thump. Defensive tackles as Brown is tackled for a loss by Mike Scott.
Wow.
No, Jack Hacksaw.
So the Desperados go backwards after a nifty opening play that was almost a first down, end up 4th and 2. The Lycans, by the way, had everybody in the box there. It was opportune time for Tulsa to audible out into something else.
We didn't even finish introducing the rest of the Los Angeles defense. We'll get to that at some point, I'm sure. Shea Carroll calls for the fair catch at the 35.
I'm pretty sure they'll take the abbreviated introduction section in exchange for trade that off for the 3 and out, right? So now Tulsa kicking off to start the game allows 3 points. Can't muster anything on offense. And here's your Los Angeles Lycans back with the ball.
4 carries early for Jack, 28 yards. You saw the average. Richardson under center. He's back to throw. Fires out to Jack.
Man
Jack,
to beat.
2 spins. 2. And he's brought down after a pickup of 7. And here comes the hurry up. And Richardson, ball security's been an issue for the guy. He's thrown 11 interceptions. Here's to get to Jack on the carry. Oh, no. Spins off of 1 tackle. Gets knocked down at the 38, and they continue to press the gas pedal.
As an aficionado of the spin move, you very rarely see a spin move one direction followed by an immediate spin move the other way, and that's exactly what happened.
It's the Logan Jack shows. He hauls in that pass, but for no gain.
They're still going hurry up. They won't allow Tulsa to substitute here.
Here to get to Jack. Jack. He doesn't look like he's tired. He's tackled at the 29. It'll be 3rd and 1.
As they move into field goal territory already.
Here's to get to Jack one more time. Jack has room. He's got the first down past the 20, but there's a flag down.
There's a flag. Let's see. I thought maybe the defense had jumped early.
Here's the quote from R62. Oh, it's coming back. We have a hold. We have a hold.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Number 73. Durango Jones, the guard, guilty of the hold. Back him up 10.
I'll tell you what, with the room to roam that Logan Jacks had on most of his carries so far, nobody needs to be holding. He pretty much can make his own sauce. Makes his own sauce. Water.
Richardson only 180 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks last week. He throws. Oh, and that was almost a pick there.
The receiver was being, it was in the process of being tackled there, but no flag. That 4th and 11 now after that untimely penalty.
4 of 6 for 29 yards is Richardson. And it'll force a punt.
Yeah.
Not what Los Angeles wanted.
Oh, sure.
Doubling worse because they'll get the ball to Los Angeles 46 for Tulsa.
Wow. I believe that end was unblocked and then made the block. I guess we're not going to get another look at it here. You'd think the hometown camera crew would be teeing that up.
The other corner for Los Angeles is TD Jack out there with Jack Haxaw and Mike Scott. Rochelle Colson is the free safety. The other free safety is Ryan Proster. And Ryan Yosef is the strong safety. As Q fires out to Brown. Brown making a man miss, carrying a guy on his back out to the 34-yard line. First reception of the day for Douglas Brown, the second most targeted man with 25 targets. Reception number 23 for the halfback.
Well, and the Rick Meter staff, which was getting kind of bored with Tulsa's offense, Tulsa in general, early, is now excited by their defense and their offense here after a play or two.
Brown, 22 carries, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns a week ago. He takes the carry here, spins it, and gets 3 more yards to his total. Tackled at the 32. It'll be 2nd and 7. 340 yards on 76 carries and 5 touchdowns through the ground. Only 1 lost fumble, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. Coming into the weekend is Douglas Brown. He's the single back with tight end to either side. Q's back to throw. Has a time. It's sack time for Los Angeles. Bringing him down in a major way is number 99, Gary Marks. His 4th and a half sack on the year.
Wow, nice. Like you said, he had a clean pocket until it suddenly became contaminated. And down goes Q.
It's 3rd and 11 from the 36, and they break out the 5 wide receivers. Trips to the bottom. Los Angeles counters with dime. Q has a man open. It's caught. It's the receiver out there who gets him down to the 10. It'll be 1st and goal. And that was Frederick Davis was out there all by himself.
Oh, my goodness.
Corner just let him go, and Davis, all he had to do was turn around when the ball was in his area.
You know, it's funny how just one mistake in the secondary can cost you so much.
1st and goal at the 10. Offset I formation. Tight end flexed out as Bandit. Offseason pickup from Baltimore.
Like the slot guy.
Here is the throw in the end zone. Tulsa, DJ Hume.
The slot guy takes two defenders with him, and then it's just one-on-one for the wideout. Get some inside leverage. Boom.
Only the second touchdown of the year for DJ Hume. He had one coming in. And his first catch of the ball game is good for a 10-yard touchdown, and JQ is a perfect 4 for 4.
Well, some early momentum for the Lycans has been completely reversed here by your Tulsa Desperados.
Brooke Beisel on for the extra point, and her kick is up and good, so it's 7-3 with 2:17 left to go in the first.
Yes, and we've already had a block punt. Something we don't usually see, Colin, in our broadcast. That was nice. Good special teams play is always appreciated.
Indeed it is. Shea Carroll, the returner.
Must be sound in the kicking game. One lands at the 2.
And the return. Carroll had a 95-yard kickoff return last week versus Seattle. Stopped there at the 26. So the Lycans, they went to punt last time, but it was blocked. And they got a field goal on their only other drive.
Yeah, that 95-yard return is a thing of beauty. Beautimus.
3 wide receivers, 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top in the shotgun. There's Richardson with Jack to his left. Throw over the middle, catch, but then a fumble. And then it's picked up by Los Angeles and advanced to the 42.
Oh, my. I'm not quite sure that was a catch. Let's see it on the replay. It seemed to go in and out simultaneously. Here we go. 1, 2.
A flash had it.
Yeah, well, they called it a fumble. Looks like it's going to stand. No challenge. Oh, I spoke too soon.
And Tulsa elects to challenge.
I like Tulsa's chances in this, as I said.
Head coach
I'm not sure
Jaden Swift.
He made a move, an act common to the game or whatever the rule book says here.
As Pierre Garcon picked up the fumble right there, he was Johnny on the spot. And get word from our 62.
After review, the play stands. The receiver did not have possession of the
It
ball.
looks like
Therefore incomplete.
they're calling the field will stand and Tulsa will lose a timeout.
Of course, we're all familiar with that language. You have to have conclusive or definitive video evidence, and absent that, call stands. And if you don't have enough to confirm it, the call stands.
First and 10 at the 42. 2 receivers to the top. Richardson back to throw. Over the middle, catch made for pickup 6. That's Pryor.
Oh, he had. I didn't see the number on the tight end. Could have hit him for a first down. Just one block over towards the sideline. Be that as may. 2nd and 4. That's technically ahead of the chains.
6 of 8.
Look at him load the
45
box
yards
here.
is
Here we go.
Richardson.
Sorry.
And they get to Jack. He's got some blocking, and he gets the first down and a little bit more to the 44.
I guess everybody knew Logan Jack was going to carry the rock, and just great play, great execution by the Lycans, Colin.
He's up to 66 yards on 7 carries. All the more impressive when you consider Los Angeles' running average coming into this ballgame was 57.
That's bad news for Tulsa if Los Angeles dramatically exceeds their typical running total in a game, Colin.
Two receivers to the bottom, press coverage from the Desperados. Richardson under pressure, sack time, down he goes. That is number 52, Chris Andrews on the sack.
The Tulsa Desperados gamble a little bit. They're calling it pays off. They had a couple receivers one-on-one on the outside, but there's just not enough time for them to find them.
4th sack on the season for Andrews. Lost the 6 back to the 50. Richardson pumps. Now he goes on the middle. Catch made. And it'll be 3rd and 2 as a result. Pryor again on the reception.
Well, they turn this set of downs into 3rd and short.
Just a pump, and then boom, he fits it right in there between 2 teal-shirted people.
How many is two? 2 Wolves from Denver. What's up, buddy? He's excited.
We reached the end of the first quarter. At 7-3, you're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on NLSU. Welcome back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. The hometown Desperados in front, 7-3, as Los Angeles is facing a 3rd and 2. Down by 4. Richardson, deep drop throw over the middle, catch made to the 19 for the first down to Pryor. Some interesting information about the first quarter. Los Angeles, 109 total yards of offense.
Wow.
We held the ball for almost 5 minutes a quarter. As you see the total yards, 125 to 55. But yeah, Tulsa is in front, and the one big holding penalty, Rick, had something to do with that.
Yeah, I think he killed that. What was looking? Oh, my! Like a real successful drive there, and that was a very unsuccessful play. Going to bring up 2nd and 13, everybody.
Forward progress only loses 3 yards. It looked like he could have lost about 8.
He got lucky as he did take a few steps moving backwards, but I guess they say he got knocked back, Colin. Hey, if you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy, and look at that, Colin.
Chris Lee, one of the players who was pointed out to watch for in the pregame, makes it all the way down to the 3, showing his great run after the catch ability.
Wow. And they got their backs up against the wall a little bit and turn that into a 1st and goal situation here. Well, this is shaping up like it could be an interesting game. We talked early that this Could be a tasty little.
This is the ninth play. Here's to get to Jack. He loses a yard back to the 5. Here's the updated numbers for Jack. 9 carries, 62 yards.
61.
61 is Ware on the tackle. David Ware. 2nd and goal from the 5. Richardson brings them up to the line.
You got to like Logan Jack here, but the field does compress, obviously. Down on the goal line.
They go to Jack again. He cannot run the edge defender. That's Philadelphia Collins, who knocks him back 1 more yard to the 6.
Well, you'd like to put it in the end zone here if you're Los Angeles, Colin. Do you throw here? Do you play conservative, see what Logan Jack can do and kick the field goal in case he doesn't make it in?
You probably throw it to the end zone.
Well, you have to.
But you have to make sure he's open, whoever you're throwing it to. Richardson.
Oh.
Goes down and back time back at the 13. Demora again. This time he gets on the sack parade.
Wow. You know, people are going to say, oh, how did he not see this guy? You know, Richardson's looking downfield. He's trying to find a receiver and just was unaware that his right tackle was getting beat there.
2nd tackle of the game for Demora. He's recorded 2 DFLs and along with his first sack of the day. Here's Lindy on for the field goal. High snap, gets it down, and the kick is good from 29. So we have a 7-6 football game with 8:07 to go in the first half.
Look at that snap. Hat tip to the holder.
Nico Squirrel.
So critical in that operation right there. The SFL would like to recognize some staff who operate mostly behind the scenes to keep the league operational. Mike Daggs directs the broadcast team, compiling research data, collecting availability and scheduling crews. Chris Curtis provides assistance and technical support and vets new broadcasters. Stephen Hacker directs game day operations to ensure broadcast and stat teams are functioning all weekend long. Check back in future weeks to hear more about how the SFL is the most well-run simulation operation.
Manning on the return up to the 25. I'm glad that those folks behind the scenes, of course, Mike Daggs was inducted into the SFL Hall of Fame for his role as the director of broadcasting. But Chris Curtis plays an equally important role, as you mentioned.
All those guys, great guys. We've met them several times at SFL conventions.
Here's the throw out. Hume is wide. Picks up 6 yards before scooting out of bounds at the 32. And for the first time today, let's go to Cameron Irvine for a game break.
Thank you, Colin. Charleston at Fort Worth today. And on their first series, handed off to Saren Storm for the touchdown. The play is significant because Charleston, in their 6th game this season, that's their first rushing touchdown. Predators lead the Toros 7-0 early. Back to you guys in Tulsa.
Hey, cool. Congrats to Charleston.
As Hugh fires down the field and Corey Jones goes full extension at the 44 to get the football.
Desmond Howard. Give that man a trophy.
He got wide open behind everyone in the secondary, and that was just too easy, and that's by far the biggest pass play of the day.
Might actually be Sorik. He potentially hyperextended his back as he came down, and his lower body still had forward momentum. Here's a short drop.
Throw it on the middle. It's going to be intercepted. Ryan Joseph, the safety, was burned on just the previous play. Gets a measure of revenge, and the Lycans will take over at their own 40.
Wow. Unexpected, as Tulsa was looking pretty darn good. Just cuts in front of the receiver.
Looking for the fullback. Bizarre.
Yep. Obviously, JQ didn't see that or see the vulnerability there. So the Lycans with a little over 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Looking to take the lead on this possession if possible. And a field goal, just a field goal will do that.
As the give it to Logan Jack, and Jack explodes for a pick of 7, and here they go back to the hurry up well again, Rick. Only the 8th turnover of the year for the Desperados. Jack with the carry again gets stopped by a combo tackle. That's Mello and Andrews.
Yeah, this is I'm digging the hurry up that the Lycans are exhibiting here from time to time.
Fullback catches the pass, and that's going to be well short of the sticks. They say gain 2. That's Creed on the reception for Los Angeles, and that'll be an instant punt opportunity.
Instant punt. The puntstant.
Needed Grace on the punt to Gabriel Manning.
Good protection this time.
It's away, and Manning opportunity to return gets up to the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Tulsa.
Tulsa at this point, Colin, has an opportunity to burn some clock. And hopefully, ideally, the object of the game is to score points, obviously. Put themselves in position here to maybe extend their lead.
Marco Swift.
Look at the cushion.
Trying to rally the troops.
At the top of the screen with trips up there.
5 wide, and they go down to the bottom. Man, wide open. That's number 88 for Tulsa. Davis, who had the big catch earlier, picks up about, you're going to say he gained about 8 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 2.
I'll tell you what, JQ could have thrown to any of his receivers right there as Los Angeles had a head-scratching defensive set on that one, buddy.
2 tight ends, bounce line, I formation.
Uh-oh.
We get an offside. It'll be a free play.
Going to give them a 1st down as they get stuffed on the natural play, short of the line of game.
And R62, who's the guilty party? The infraction is called on number 94 for Los Angeles. That is Ace Blackwell.
With the neck board. Love that. Old school.
4th year in the league, all with Los Angeles. And the numbers for Q.
Just trying to make something happen, and Q changes up his cadence a little bit and catches one.
He's in 5 wide again. He's back to throw over the middle. Catch made. Broken tackle. Douglas Brown. Boy, Douglas Brown was out there as a receiving threat and picks up 6 yards.
Uptown Dougie Brown. Called his number a few times already, Colin.
His 2nd catch for 18 yards. He has more receiving yards than he does rushing yards. Same amount of receptions and rushing attempts. Kind of unusual. They go to Brown one more time, up through the air, spins, picks up 2. It'll be 3rd and 2.
See if they go to Brown again. Why not?
Only the third down situation Los Angeles has faced. They're 1 of 2.
In stops, you mean?
Attempts and conversions.
Tulsa has the ball.
Tulsa, yeah.
There you
That's
go.
what I meant.
Ha!
Here's Q. Throws off his back foot. It's going to be intercepted. Intercepted on the play and brought up to the 32-yard line. JQ, ill-advised pass there, Rick.
And as all the boys and girls know, throwing off your back foot or a jump pass on the run back across the field is really dicey.
Mike Scott on the interception.
Hey, coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine, the incomparable Cameron Irvine, updates viewers on the news and notes from around the SFL, including Week 6 scores already gone final, plus a preview of Impact Monday's Game of the Week, Sioux Falls and Atlanta. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report.
Logan Jack stopped after a pickup of 1. And Tulsa, they were adverse to the turnover bug, but that's the 2nd time they've been bit by it.
Wow.
Q had 7 interceptions coming in. He is now unofficially thrown a combined 9. Here's Richard, fires, complete. This is to Jack Flash. To the Los Angeles 36, it'll be 3rd and 6. And the Lycans, they've had difficulty on 3rd down.
And Jack Flash was injured on that play.
Ooh, might have gotten his bell rung.
It might have. You know, and Tulsa defense has quietly been putting up a little bit of a game here as Los Angeles last 2 possessions have thrown everything but the kitchen sink at the Tulsa defense.
They're 2 of 8 on 3rd down, and now make that 2 of 9 as that pass falls harmlessly to the ground, incomplete.
And that's bad news watching the Los Angeles, for the Lycans, watching the Los Angeles offense stall out in the last 3 drives, Colin.
They're now 141 total yards, 94 for Tulsa.
They moved smartly down the field in that first drive and showed some really good life.
And you see the difference in average yards. It's still close, but it's the rushing yards that are really powering the day for the total yardage discrepancy as the fair catch is called for at the 31.
Well, now that same opportunity that Los Angeles just failed to capitalize on presents itself to Tulsa, Colin, to burn some clock and get themselves in a position to tack on a few more points before the half. And don't forget, who's getting the ball coming out of halftime? Your Tulsa Desperados. That's right. Pat yourself on the back. You're a winner.
Bunch to the top out of the shotgun is Q. He's back to throw, fires out to Douglas Brown. Brown trying to make a couple men miss, makes 1 miss, picks up 5.
Does his best Logan Jack imitation there.
Ball is marked at the 36, and Q has only thrown 2 incompletions. Unfortunately, they've been to the other team. Gabriel Manning is held without a catch, and this is by far the most targeted guy in the Tulsa team coming in.
Oh,
They target in there, but it's incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 5.
he had a target on his back as the Los Angeles defense puts the squeeze on him. The 3rd and 5. Someone's going to capitalize on this end of the second quarter opportunity. I just know it.
Very interesting to see if it can be the players in teal. Q back to throw. Up to Manning, but he knocked down, incomplete. Scott was able to get a hand on it.
Good looking opportunity, maybe a little bit more of a rainbow as he was behind the defender, Colin, just run down the field. But it was not to be.
First pass deflection for Mike Scott has an interception coming in. And for Scott on the season coming into this ball game. He had 2 interceptions. That's his 3rd.
Almost a block there. He's going to return, and he fumbles it.
It's recovered by the Desperados. And they'll run it in for a special teams touchdown. What is going on? Shea Carroll fumbled the football, and King Jack Washington scooped it up and ran it back the other way.
Holy smoke, what a play. What a play. As I was wondering why he didn't execute the fair catch.
Jay Rock forced the fumble, and King Jack Washington says, I'll take that, thank you very much, for 6 points.
He is on him as soon as he catches that ball and puts his big paw on it to knock it away. Well, there we go. Tulsa capitalized, but not in the way any of us expected. A great special teams play. Capitalizing on a miscue by Los Angeles.
And Brooke Beisel on for the extra point. For special teams craziness, as the extra point is blocked and the score remains 13-6.
Oh, it's a clinic. It's a clinic. This will be a teaching game for all you special teams coaches out there. This is great.
2:12 to go in the first half. Oh my goodness. Here's the kickoff by Beisel. Carroll fields a yard deep in the end zone. Up the middle he goes. Cuts to the outside and down to the 25.
Well, the Lycans, who already have shown they know how to run the hurry up, have a chance to attempt their almost precisely 2-minute offense here, Colin.
They have 2 timeouts in their back pocket should they decide to use them.
Right, and with a touchdown and an XP, they could be improbably tied at the score of 13 apiece. Featuring
they trailed despite statistically dominating, and Jack up the middle. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on NLSD. Welcome back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Los Angeles Lycans find themselves down by the strange score of 13-6. After some special teams wizardry by the Desperados has opened up this lead a little bit. Here's Jack, stopped for a 2-yard loss. Setting up a 3rd and 4, David Ware on the tackle for loss, combining with one other person. Only 2 rushing touchdowns on the year for Logan Jack. Richardson throws. It's knocked down, incomplete. That's Ware again, and it'll be 4th down.
Wow. And for those of you that are into wagering, the under is looking pretty good right now. Even though 19 points have been scored, that's still not halfway to 50.5, and one of those touchdowns came on special teams play. Doubtful you get more than one special team touchdown in a game. So these offenses seem to have stalled out here, Colin, in the second quarter.
And then we saw a punt block.
A blocked XP.
As Manning returns it up to the 40. And David Ware is really balling out and having himself a good game. He has 4 assisted tackles, 1 solo tackle, 2 tackles for loss, and now a pass deflection to go along with it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's starting to fill up the book rather quickly.
We're still in the second quarter. Looks like we're changing play here.
Here's Douglas Brown, only his 3rd carry, breaks a tackle, 4th carry rather, and he picks up a first down on his best run of the day. They're going to call it an 11-yard gain out to the 49.
They option into a good result there. Strangely enough, there's about a minute left, and I know Tulsa only has 2 timeouts, but they're taking their sweet time here.
Here's the throw out to Douglas Brown, and Brown can't get out of bounds, but he gets 9.
He need to either get out of bounds or a first down. Produces neither. That runs off almost 20 seconds on the clock total.
Throw over the middle, tipped in the air, incomplete. Clock stopped. Sonzo Robinson, his first target. Unable to haul that one in is the veteran wide receiver.
Robinson's wondering why JQ threw it in his direction, being surrounded by the enemy.
10th year with the Desperados. He's previously spent time as a tailback in this league, but he's always been an outstanding wide catcher of the football. Throw out to Douglas Brown. Brown unable to make a move, and the Desperados have to call timeout with 31 seconds left.
Brown would have been better off to drop that ball for the measly 1 yard it produced, having to cost them a timeout. And let's go back to the ritual burning of the timeout in the first quarter, Colin. How nice would it be for Tulsa to actually have 2 timeouts?
They're going to line up to go for it. Q fires to He stepped out of bounds.
He got the first down. I thought he was short.
He did not get the first down.
Nope.
Needed a yard. Got about half a yard. Had to turn to catch the football.
Yep. Poorly thrown there.
And LA will get it on their own 40 with 27 seconds left and 2 timeouts. Looks like the Lycans content to go into the locker room. With only 2 field goals as Jack spins ahead with a juke. And as they've done for large portions of this game, they'll run the hurry up.
Logan Jack doesn't look too injured any longer. Thanks to the SFL medical team.
It was Jack Flash who got hurt.
Oh, was it Jack Flash? Wrong Jack. Too many Jacks.
Timeout called with 3 seconds left.
There we go. Well, they're going to talk it over here.
More like yell it over. Chuck Colston gets in Sully's face.
Wow. It's an odd time to chew out your quarterback, I guess. I don't know. They clearly weren't trying to get themselves into position. Not sure what Richardson did wrong.
Well, they line up in the Hail Mary formation. Richardson has a big arm. He could get it down there a long way, and it's kind of an enigmatic end for Los Angeles the first half. Berto Demora, second sack, and he's all happy. We reach halftime. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on NLSE.
Welcome back to SFL Studios for the APM Music Halftime Report. Cameron Irvine, and it's Tulsa 13, Los Angeles 6 at the break. Wild first half. J-Rock with a block punt and a forced fumble on special teams that resulted in the touchdown for the Desperados. Not our only touchdown of the game, however. The extra point was blocked. We had a touchdown earlier in the ball game. And that wild and wacky first half equals a 13-6 lead for the Tulsa Desperados. And we are now here at halftime to reset the stage. Charleston leads Fort Worth right now, just directly to my right over here, 16-7. You can watch that game on SFL YouTube. The Predators off to a 1-4 start earlier this season. You saw in the game break, they get the score on the ground from Saren Storm, their first rushing touchdown of the season. And Fort Worth, who's 2-2, a half game back of Mexico City, who plays DC tomorrow night, is hoping to get a win. Otherwise, it might be three teams in the South, sub 500, heading into the midpoint of the SFL's regular season. Remember, last season, all Southern Division teams made the playoffs. It was the first time that any division has done that in SFL history. So the South struggling a little bit more. Central has been on point so far this season, in Tulsa and others are chasing the Minnesota legend at the top of that division. Los Angeles just trying to get out of the hole they have dug for themselves. Their offense continues to struggle in the red zone, having to settle for field goals. They are down 7 despite outgaining Tulsa in that first half. Earlier today, the London Knights took down the Denver Nightwings in another shootout for both teams. London won 52-38, led by Fox Highwind's 3 touchdown catches and Robert Merrill's 3 total scores. Bailey O'Shaughnessy rushed for 198 yards in the loss. That snapped Denver's 2-game win streak. The Canton Classics kept control of the North Division despite losing quarterback Cameron Curtis to a broken leg. The Classics defense continues to be one of the league's best, shutting down San Diego in a 16-13 victory, holding the Mavericks' high-flying attack to just 239 yards and 9 first downs. Rob Ems hit the game winner as time expires. That means Canton continues to be your North leader at 3-2, with London still 2 games back at 2-3. Why 2? The Knights have already lost the first of 2 meetings to the Classics this season. They will play each other in Week 14. Coming up on Monday night, it's Impact Monday's Game of the Week on SFL YouTube, a rematch of the Season 14 championship game between Sioux Falls and Atlanta. It's the first time the Sparrows return to the Hive since that defeat, and once again have a tall task. The Swarm are one of 3 teams in the SFL still unbeaten in Season 20, and they'd like to keep it that way. Atlanta last faced Sioux Falls last February and won by 1 point, 20-19. Your other 2 unbeaten teams in the SFL, Arizona is 5-0. They're at the top of the standings right now. They will face Las Vegas in a battle at the top of the West Division tomorrow evening. Baltimore, your 3-time champion, is the other unbeaten team in the league right now. They have a date at Houston later tonight. After the break, we get back to Lucy Red Stadium for the conclusion of Los Angeles and Tulsa. We're back in a moment. Enjoy the second half.
Welcome back to
Yes.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Whose stadium are we in?
Here at Lucy Red Stadium, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Visit Lucy Red Energy Drink at lucyred.com and see why the energy is amazing. As Gabriel Manning on the return for the hometown Desperados gets it out to the 30. Rick, his team is up 13-6.
Yeah, Gabriel was almost blowing his own horn there on that return as he gets out over the 30, right to the 30. Yeah, Tulsa finds themselves up, and it was interesting on some of the stats we were looking at halftime, Colin. LA has had a 13-minute TOP, time of possession, in that first half. Time of possession is strongly correlated with scoring and winning.
But yet they're losing.
They're losing. So,
Jack Flash, actually, they'll say he broke his arm.
ouch.
He'll be out for the rest of the contest.
No more jumping for Jack Flash. But yeah, I mean, correlated is not it's predictive. It's not a lock, and yeah, the Los Angeles coaching staff's got to be pretty frustrated as when they've gotten into the red zone or near the red zone, they've stalled out.
145 yards in that first half for Los Angeles, only 119 for Tulsa. It's a 2nd and 10. Q fires out the Brown gains 2 yards before being escorted out of bounds at his 33.
Yeah, this is the part of the game where a lot of times we like to ask the question, what the heck's going on with the Rick meter? Well, the Rick meter's confused, frankly. Tulsa does show the lead. As we mentioned, LA has good TOP advantage, but can't seem to score points. So the Rick meter is going with Lean Tulsa at this point. Lean Tulsa not really excited by either team. Remember, Tulsa, 6 of their 13 points came on a special teams play.
Here's the throw out to Corey Jones. He picks up the first down by just a whisker.
That's just a nice little route. And a well-thrown ball. He needs to turn anyway to get upfield, and the flight of the ball encourages him to do so.
Corey Jones only his 2nd grab for 20 yards. Had 1 catch, spectacular catch for 12 yards the first half.
That's right.
Here's Q. Oh, Brock catch made to the 43-yard line. DJ Bandit took it away from the safety man.
Well, that's your quintessential tight window, as he had to get over the defender but have the ball arrive before the deep defender arrived. Really nicely done. That's a beaut.
Bandit 6'2", 245 pounds. He can run. Flank catch over the middle. Corey Jones, 2nd catch of the drive, picks up 9. As we get a 2nd and 1. Line up with extra personnel on the backfield, including a backup tight end.
2nd and short on the plus side of the field, getting excited.
Douglas Brown on the carry. He picks up 2 yards. That's good for first down to 31.
Yeah, if this possession keeps going this way, Colin, can I say is bussin'? Is that how the youngsters talk today?
I guess, yes.
Bussin', really?
Here's the give off to Brown again.
You gonna let me get away with that?
Tackle for a loss of 1. Let's go to Cameron Irvine for a game update. Cam, what do you got?
I got Fort Worth trying to make a comeback after a slow start at home. Marcus Dunhill with his 2nd touchdown of the day just before the first half. Charleston, though, still leading 16-14 on the SFL YouTube channel. And Rick, Colin may let you get away with it. I won't. Back to you guys in Tulsa.
Oh, did I? Was that a clapback?
That's the definitive word on that. Is Bizarre catches it out of the backfield, and it'll set up a 3rd and 3.
Just trying to keep up with my fellow young people.
Only his 4th catch of the year, has no carries. JQ, you see the numbers for him. 2 interceptions, dragging things down a little bit. Here's to get to Douglas Brown. Brown has to break a tackle, but cannot advance forward, and Brooke Beisel will now come on for a field goal attempt on 4th down.
Okay, I don't get it, Colin. LA had everybody within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage, and JQ didn't option into something else or audible out of that package. Clearly, they were geared to stop the run.
I don't know what he could have seen.
I don't know.
Maybe he wasn't allowed to check.
He might. You'd think he would be able to, but anyway, is what it is. We got a field goal attempt here.
Here's Beisel. This is good from 41. So with 7:14 to go in the 3rd, it is now a 10-point game, 16-6.
Sunday night, the focus of the SFL slate shifts west, where once again the Los Angeles Fury and the Arizona Scorpions are in a battle of the top of the West Division standings. Can the Fury stop Arizona's unbeaten run? Kickoff is at 9:15 in the East, with action around the league beginning in Detroit at 6:30 p.m. in the East. SFL action tomorrow night only on SFL YouTube.
Here's Carroll from the 2. Up the middle, he gets knocked down at the 24.
Pardon me, I was supposed to pronounce that as Detroit. For
Right.
all you Red Wing hockey fans there. He are a sniper, Bruce.
We got 1st and 10 from the 24. It'll be interesting to see the plan of attack for Los Angeles. 75 rushing yards in the first half from Logan Jack on 17 carries. Sully Richardson, he was at 97 yards, but almost threw an interception there. Miles Gibson, again in the area, it'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, like an offense, has to have been champing at the bit here coming out of the half, watching Tulsa go down the field, put some points on the board as they want to bring their second half adjustments out into full view. Already down to 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Offset. Is to get the Jack up the middle. He picks up, they're going to call it 3 yards to the 27, Miles Gibson. Records tackle number 5 for him.
Now, Lycans were gashing the Tulsa D on those types of plays, but no longer. Los Angeles is going to have to reach a little deeper in the playbook, I think, Colin.
3rd and 7, Richardson under center. One converted 2 third downs in the first half, and it will not convert here. It's a sack, a combo sack. Dewara and Andrews combine, and it's another Los Angeles punt.
Again, just that rush getting home. Not sure if the clock isn't going off in his head enough to get the ball out of his hands, or if he's not used to his lineman getting beat like that. But Tulsa's defense is coming on strong here.
This is going to be a punt from Grace.
Not that good of one.
Fair catch is called. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on NLSE. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tulsa.
Here at Lucy Red Stadium as the Desperados take over 1st and 10. Douglas Brown on the carry, spins ahead, breaks a tackle, almost broke his second one. Out to the 41 he goes for one of his best runs of the day.
He's got to be feeling good about that, too, after he had was thrown the ball and ran the ball a couple times near the end of the second quarter without producing much. That was just a good, tough run.
1st and 10 at the 41. This drive will be big in a number of ways, especially for Los Angeles, already down 10. Their defense has been game all day long, but that's a pickup of 9 by Tulsa there.
Right, down by 2 scores. They give up a field goal and still be down by 2 scores, but they become 2 touchdowns instead of a touchdown and a field goal. And should Tulsa put it in the end zone, that's going to put some hurt on Los Angeles, who, for those of you just joining, haven't been able to muster much since they put 2 field goals on the board early in the game.
Douglas Brown, another nice run, this time out to the 26. Tackle made by Garrett Hudson, his 4th. Solo, that is. Let's get an update for the folks watching. Hey, what does the Rick meter have to say?
That's a good question. You know, the Rick meter was a little bit confused in the second quarter, but now with Tulsa opening up a 2-possession lead, they were lean Tulsa. They're staying with lean Tulsa. I expect that to change though here as we get closer to the fourth quarter, maybe into the early fourth quarter.
2nd and 9. After the 1-yard pickup from Brown, his 9th reception. He now has as many receptions as he does attempts, 9 each. He's 18 total touches for Mr. Brown. Here is too deep. Almost intercepted by a bunch of people in white shirts.
A bunch of people. Who are those people?
Garrett Hudson had the tip amongst others. 3rd and 9 for Tulsa.
Well, they'll try it again. Another obvious passing down here. Probably don't throw as deep. Let's see. 5 wide.
2 of 6 on 3rd down at the Desperados been thus far. The throw down the middle, Manning is wide open and he's down to the 3. It'll be 1st and goal.
Wow. Just finds a little seam over the middle. The proverbial seam in the defense.
And for Manning.
And JQ finds him. Look at this. Right in stride.
Just his 2nd reception. 4 targets so far.
And you see Manning as he wanders into that open space. He's already turning around. He knows that ball's coming his direction.
At 1st and goal from the 3Q in the shotgun. He's got to be careful. He's already thrown 2 interceptions.
Oh, the announcer jink. Here we go.
It throws out to Douglas Brown, who runs into the end zone. It's a receiving touchdown for the Desperados.
Well, and the worst fears of the Lycan Nation have come to pass as they're about to go down pending the XP 23-6.
And he was wide open. That's 10 catches for 40 yards and now a receiving touchdown.
An important XP here, as this will make it officially a 3-possession game. Oh, low snap.
Low snap, but they get it down. Good. And 3:25 to go in the 3rd. It's now 23-6. That was a 7-play, 56-yard drive, taking up 2 minutes and 36 seconds. And Douglas Brown hauling in a touchdown reception.
Douglas Brown looking good on that drive. I got on him a little bit there at the end of the second quarter. He's showing some stuff.
His 2nd receiving touchdown of the year. Had 1 coming in. Average 4 yards a catch coming in. He's about that reps for 40 yards. It's pretty easy math. Declan O'Rourke and Ron Haynes are our statisticians, keeping track of the facts and figures for us. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And the Los Angeles Lycans, well, they've kind of been running in place.
They kind of have, and I mentioned in the last drive, they've got to bust out some creativity here.
Here's a 3-step drop. Richardson deep down the field. It's going to be intercepted.
Oh, no.
Cameron Shaw, the corner, snagged that out of the air.
Well, I guess that does qualify as creative, Colin, because they have not thrown an interception yet, have the Lycans, and here they go.
Looking deep for Chris Lee, but he was double covered. Lee only 1 catch for 14 yards so far. And Tulsa gets it back.
A little bit of desperation here, possibly, Colin, already near the end of the third quarter, as Richardson knows they've got to get on the shtick and maybe trying to do a little too much. That was clearly double covered, well covered by multiple defenders.
And here is the throw. Catch made, 9.5 yards. And for Shaw, on the year, that's interception number 4. Puts him in first place by himself. He was tied with teammate Nate Etzlaff with 3.
Well, I'll tell you what, on that last play, Colin, that got the clear feeling for Tulsa. When it's working, it's working. That was kind of a sidearm, little bit of an emergency throw.
Here's Brown on the carry. Gets the first down to the 35.
And manufactured a second and short, and now they convert to first down again. And by the way, with that pick and now the mojo that Tulsa's showing here with this possession, the Rick meter has just come out with a full-on Tulsa win. Rick meter predicting Tulsa win at this point. 2:20 to go in the third quarter. Got a quarter?
I got a quarter. Here's Douglas Brown. Head in the hole, picks up 3 more yards.
Don't you got $1? Is that all? You got a quarter only?
It's 2nd and 7 in this Los Angeles defense. They've been on the field for a lot of plays, Rick, especially in this quarter.
Yeah.
And you can tell them start to
I think they're
wearing down a little bit. Brown breaks the tackle, picks up a first down. You see, it's exactly plays like that. Maybe first or second quarter he wasn't breaking those tackles, and now all of a sudden he is.
You were spot on. I was just going to say, Brown wasn't having much success, but as they keep going to him, he's starting to break out. And he's a talent. He's not untalented, obviously. By the way, that you got a quarter shtick stems from a story about the quarter lady in downtown Detroit when I used to work down there. You want to hear that story and more? You can see us at the convention coming up this summer.
Douglas Brown tackled in the backfield for a loss of 2. TD Jack on the tackle. She has been quiet. That's just her 2nd tackle.
Is that right? Not used to that. Being that quiet.
Here's to get to Brown on the stretch play. Gets to the line of scrimmage. Actually gained back the 2 yards he lost to the 25. Tackle made by Tazzy Blackwell.
Oh, that was a good play by LA defense. We kind of been getting on them a little bit here in the last minute or two, but that was well done.
Let's see it there. Defense. It was come up with 2 interceptions of JQ. Can they come up with some sort of stop here? Q. Deep down the field. Caught by Manning down to the 2. It'll be first and goal.
Oh my gosh. Oh my golly. Well, right on cue. Here comes Tulsa. Like I said, when it's working, it's working. And I think they're starting to play with a lot of confidence here in the second half, Colin.
End of the third quarter. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on NLSU. Welcome back to the start of the fourth quarter here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Desperados in firm control of 23-6.
And they're on the goal line.
First and goal from the 2. Douglas Brown trying to get a touchdown on the ground. Will get stuffed for no gain at the line of scrimmage.
Hey, APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production of the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com.
Again, they line up with 2 tight ends, this time in a different permutation. Here's to get to Brown.
Ooh.
He's tackled it. At the line of scrimmage, Tazzy Blackwell now up to 5 tackles.
Hey, nice little goal line stand-in process here for Los Angeles, Colin.
They're wearing black helmets, too. It's a very clean look for the Lycans. And, of course, you can't go wrong with the Native American feather down the pants stripe for Tulsa.
Hat tip to the heritage of Oklahoma, absolutely.
Here's Brown, runs in the end zone, wide open touchdown. He now has 2 touchdowns on the day, 1 on the ground and 1 in the air.
Wow. Well, Brown, after being stopped a few times, suddenly is unaccounted for and moseys into the end zone for 6 more.
With 10:02 left, he officially entered.
Ooh, be careful. The zone. The difficult to come back from zone has many names. And it's good.
It's now 30-6.
Hey, next weekend on Next Level Sports, an old dynasty, Colin, meets a rising power when the Florida Storm welcome the Minnesota Legend to the eye. Coverage starts Saturday at 6:30 in the East, 3:30 in the West, right here on Next Level Sports.
We had a 10-play, 47-yard drive, 2-yard rushing touchdown by Douglas Brown. Kickoff to Carroll, 2 yards on the end zone, comes out and gets tackled at the 21.
Oh, boy. All right, LA. Let's see if they can put something together. It's like Tulsa figured out their scheme and what their game plan was going to be. LA hasn't really been able to pivot into something different. And look at how Tulsa's crowding the box there too, Colin.
Especially since Jack Flash went out with an injury. And Logan Jack just unable to find any room.
Yeah, let's not discount that. If you want to talk more about it, Colin, enlighten the masses as to why no Jack Flash is a problem.
Jack Flash went out with an injury. His day was finished with 3 catches for 30 yards on 4 targets. Here's the throw.
77 yards rushing, and they really do miss that dimension. So I should be fair is fair, right?
Jack catches the ball, but he lost 2 yards back to the 18. They'll set up 3rd and 13.
Oh, sorry, I was reading the wrong line. Yeah, Jack Flash, 3 catches for 30 yards and long of 17. He just misses that explosive.
Here's Richardson, fires deep, but it's way over the head of Chris Lee, and it's just been one of those days for the Los Angeles attack. Still under 100 yards passing total. And Amelia Grace on for yet another punt.
Yeah, and hat tip to Tulsa here for taking advantage of it, right? I mean, injuries happen, and they pressed their case here.
Here's Grace. Boots it away.
Uh-oh.
Fair catch called at the 50 by Manning.
Manning was going to take a shot at it, but
Maybe
plays it safe.
Maybe the people were a little too close.
Too close. You people back away. Back off, man.
8:48 to go. JQ
Mr. Singlebar.
strolling up in the shotgun. Bunch to the top, one to the bottom, 4 wide in total. He's back to throw. Throws to a man out of the bunch. It's caught for a 5-yard gain. Out of bounds is DJ Only his 3rd catch. But one of those ended up in the end zone for 6 points.
Interesting. I thought Los Angeles may have kind of had an idea of what Desperados were trying to do there, as on the right side of the formation, Colin, they had one-on-one coverage with a safety. They were playing high-low, but the receiver ran out into the high man territory, but Q threw to his left.
Here's Q deep, and it's going to be incomplete. Almost the 3rd interception for this Los Angeles defense. Jack Axaw, the closest man to the ball.
Axaw Reynolds. A blast from the pass.
3rd and 5.
Well, they've got 2 of them, and they easily can add a 3rd.
See, the defense trying to
Here's
prevent that
Q.
first down.
And as he throws, and Brown gets the first down. Just kind of a play that almost was a disaster. And Douglas Brown was like, "Whoop, I have the ball. Let me go ahead." Boop, 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 boop.
You know what, the Lycans were so focused on preventing the deep ball, everybody ran off, and that Brown was the safety valve. Q realized he was out there and easily picks up the first down before first contact.
5 wide press coverage from Los Angeles.
Or LA can have a close encounter of the 3rd kind, meaning a tackle.
Here is the throw over the middle to J.J. Hume.
Number 32.
Yes, that's number 15 with those distinctive fluorescent orange elbow pads. That's a pickup of 4, 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6 from the Maulers. 29 yard.
Offset I formation
Showed
to
a
the wing.
little goal line here out in the open field.
Wing is Manning on the wing jokers. It'll get to the fullback. He makes the grab, but unable to advance forward.
No touchdown was scored on that play, for sure.
And, I feel like the Monty Python reference, like Los Angeles' defense saying, "I'm not dead yet." And, Tulsa's like, "Bring out your dad."
Right, I don't know. Yeah, it's LA's defense will have these good stands, these good series, and here's another one. They're going to bring up 4th down.
Hume stopped 3 yards short of the sticks. At the 27, and Brooke Beisel on for another field goal attempt.
The defense will point out that they can't be expected to do everything, and they're right. LA's offense hasn't done very much, and they're missing Jack Flash.
Leading LZ Pryor, they haven't gone to him in a while, as the field goal is good, and it's now 33-6 with 6:19 left in the quarter. Field goal good from Beisel. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. I'm in LS.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Desperados tack on another 3 points to their giant 33-6 lead. Shea Carroll must feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day as he returns yet another kick out of the end zone, this time to the 21.
Nice Groundhog Day reference there, my man. And we've talked about the struggles that the Lycan offense has had, both in terms of play selection as well as missing one of their big contributors, Jack Flash. See what they can dial up here.
Here is Richardson. Pumps head as he throws, and it is nearly complete. Incomplete. It'll be second down. Let's go to Cameron Irvine for a game break.
Thank you, Colin. Fort Worth really turning on the Jets down the stretch of this one in Texas. Marcus Dunhill's third touchdown pass of the day hits Robert Garrett Jr. And the Toros are up 28-19 in the fourth on SFL YouTube. And to the conclusion of LA and Tulsa with Colin and Rick.
Thanks, Cam. Hey, I'm a huge Marcus Dunhill fan. Nice to see that game.
As this pass is complete, longest throw of the day, and look who it is. Chris Lee, only his second grab of this ball game.
Yeah, well done. They need some chunk plays. And just cuts right in front of the defender who was eyeing what he thought was a sure pick.
Vernon Lamar, 5 tackles, 2.5 sacks today. Richardson now up to 115 yards passing. Throw again out to the fullback. Momentary.
Staggering backwards.
Staggering backwards, but still manages to get 1 yard. It'll be second and 9.
Oh, my. That was dicey. Good thing no defenders were in the area to attempt to bring him down as he gathered himself going backwards.
Three wide receivers.
Yes.
In the formation, 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Tommy Rahman, the tight end. Slant over the middle, catch first down to the 48, Shea Carroll. His second catch is good for a first down. Pick up of about 10 yards.
Yeah, what's up with Rahman? Hasn't really been involved. Some blocking here and there, but
yeah, you think with Flash
not matriculating down the field with the ball.
Flash down, they would have gone to him. As again, they go to the fullback and hurry up. Is present once again. Chris Lee, you see the 2 grabs for 39 yards. Ooh. As that was nearly intercepted by Cameron Shaw. He could have had his second.
Yep. And, we talked about that, too. I mean, you get into this point of the game, you're down 33-6, and it's really about execution and some live prep for your practice week and next week's game. And people may wonder, well, why are they going hurry up? Why are they doing it, this and that? But it's confidence, it's practice, it's prep. Have some success, trying to generate some success.
A throw, Miles Gibson knocks that away. Or no, that's Ware, rather. David Ware again. On the deflection, number 54.
Stymies the Lycan drive, and I don't know if they'll be going for it or not. They might want to, just because.
Jay Carroll only 2 grabs for 15 yards. A little surprised they haven't gone to their return guy a little bit more, especially with the score given the way it is, or even LZ Pryor.
And they are going for it on the plus side of the field with 4.5 minutes to go.
4th and 7. Richardson, they're going to be a little dump pass. He pulled a Kirk Cousins And Philadelphia Collins easily tackles Jack well short of the sticks.
Stick around after the game. We'll send it back to SFL Studios where the incomparable Cameron Irvine will give his thoughts on the Los Angeles-Tulsa result and preview next week's Next Level SFL Showcase games. It's all coming up on the APM Music post-game update.
Very interesting. As Q and the offense still up there with 4:29 to go. Douglas Brown stopped the line of scrimmage, but more importantly for the men in teal, clock is rolling.
The Rick Meter just sent this telegram into me. They want to remind everybody that the Rick Meter predicted the Tulsa win way back in the third quarter. Back in the third quarter, very unusual for the Rick Meter to go out on a limb like that. But they saw, Colin, that Los Angeles' offense was missing a gear with Jack Flash out.
Here's Douglas Brown. Tackle made after a pick of a 4. He's feeling pretty good about himself. He's picked it up in a big way in his second half.
By the way, I believe it was in the third quarter. Tulsa had 146 yards of total offense to Los Angeles' -1. -1.
In the second half, Tulsa's rushed for 42 yards. They had 18 in the first half. So it kind of gives you a clue that they've been able to take advantage of it. Very much worn out Los Angeles defense as this pass almost intercepted Scott defending, and Manning was behind him. It'll be 4th down and 6.
A little bit of a miscue on that throw. Could have aired it out a little bit. Maybe let him down the field. Sorry for the play on words, Mr. Quarterback. But again, here we are, Colin. LA's defense, rises up and forces a punt. Rises up in a part of the field where Tulsa can't kick a field goal.
Exactly.
And
punt is away. Fair catch is called by Carroll at the 15.
So in a little bit of work out the kinks time here with this game no longer in doubt. Sorry, Lycan faithful. See what the Los Angeles offense can put together here.
Here's Richardson. Changes the play. Is back to row, lobs it downfield. Catch made.
Yeah.
First down to 37. Catch made by Shea Carroll.
Nice.
Here's Richardson. Dumps it off to Logan Jack. Jack made a man miss with a great move. Breaks the tackle. He's up to the 40 and knocked out of bounds there.
That's he's always dangerous, and hey, great. Now people will say, where's this been all game? But, different circumstances, the defense plays differently, but there are still some pretty good weapons out there. And we talked about, where's Tom Rahman been? They just haven't been running the ball. They haven't been calling plays with his number, I guess.
For Jack, that's 5 catches for 28 yards now. So far, season best. Beating his rushing average. He's up to 77 now. As Creed catches it out of the backfield, picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Ball on also 37. Richardson to Jack again. Gets a block from the fullback, and Logan Jack is on his way down to the 25. Can they get one more play off before the 2-minute warning?
We shall see. Oh, they will. Totally.
And the throw out to Jack.
Yeah.
Make 2 people miss with a spin and gets knocked out of bounds at the 13 with exactly 2:01 left.
Was it like the 4th time in a row they ran that play to one side or the other? With either Logan Jack or the other fella.
We got the backups in. Paula Rebel knocked him out of bounds at the 13.
First and 10.
Richardson is up over the 200-yard mark. 21 of 31 pass. Here is the throw. Complete to Pryor out of bounds. And we've reached the 2-minute warning. You're watching Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on NLSE.
Did it?
Oh my God.
Wasn't it like low, like 20s to 19? Just. Wow.
Wow, indeed. All right. Welcome back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Los Angeles Lakers playing for pride here. Over the middle, catch made. And that's Tommy Robbins' first catch of the game on his first target. It'll be first and goal at the 2.
This is Los Angeles' best drive of the game here at the end of the 4th.
Here's the throw to the end zone. Touchdown.
Nice.
That's the backup tight end, Camarillo. Hauls it in, and it is now 33-12. A touchdown pass the year for Sully Richardson.
Wow.
And I'm getting told in my ear.
Where it looked like Tulsa was trying to hit the over all by themselves, but we're getting close now.
Thanks to this late push from Los Angeles.
45. The over-under set at 50.5.
As the extra point by Olindy is up and good. LA had 109 yards of total offense in the first quarter. It's 66 total yards since. That was an 8-play, 84-yard drive.
Wow.
For taking up 1 minute and 17 seconds. And a 2-yard touchdown pass to the third string tight end. Remember, Los Angeles playing without Jack Flash. And the onside kick was recovered by Rochelle Colston at the Los Angeles 42. Wow.
Look at that. Just up. Kicks around and
Colston has it. The over still may be in play, Rick, depending on what happens.
Well, LA definitely wants to try and hit that.
Richardson Back to throw. Out to Jack. I'll say he gained 1, but he probably just should have dropped that one.
Yeah. Well, kind of wasted down there throwing the ball at that point on the field, basically forcing him to go out of bounds with it. People ought to know better. Come on, man. Oh my
213 yards for Richardson.
Here we go.
He's back to throw. Ooh, tipped and incomplete. Shaw still out there. Sully Richardson out 25 of 35.
A lot of traffic right in there. Also had a good defense setup for that call, for that play. Sorry.
Crowd picks up a chant of defense.
Really just trying to squeak over the line to gain on that.
They're 2 of 15 on third down, including 0 for 4 to half until now. LZ Pryor on the grab to the 37, first down, Los Angeles.
3 of 16. Clap.
Richardson, quick drop. Out to Jack. Tackle over, lost it 2. Going backwards. That's not what we want.
Los Angeles still has all 3 timeouts.
There you go to Jack again.
They use one here.
And they do with exactly 61 seconds remaining. And then facing yet another third down. It just converted. 1 just previously. And Jack trying to make something happen. Almost got it.
Oh, brings up 4th and short.
Timeout called with 56 seconds left.
After looking so great on the previous possession, Colin, I don't know what's up. I don't get it.
You don't get it?
This doesn't ship for me.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Here's Richardson, quick drop, out to Jack. He's got the first down. Can he get out of bounds? He stays in bounds to gain extra yards to the 16.
Well, they can get this off. So now suddenly I say on this drive, ship it.
Again, they go to Jack. Jack. Tackled at the 13.
Richardson just off on that throw. It's the little things, but he had to reach back and spin around instead of catching it in stride.
Slant over the middle. Tipped in. Incomplete. Clock stopped at 23 seconds left.
Well, it gets exciting now for the wagering public on the over-under.
Friends in the desert. They may or may not be happy depending on the outcome of these next 2 plays. Trips to the top of the formation for Sully Richardson. This will be pass attempt number 44. He's back to throw. Goes to the end zone. Touchdown. Hey, Shea Carroll.
And suddenly it's looking kind of respectable, question mark.
Running the post in between the zones.
Well done.
Easy as pie.
Had a short, 5-step drop and out of his hands quickly to a gap in the coverage.
Oh, Gabriel Manning for some reason lined up on the field goal block team. 6'4" wide receiver. Let's see if he can get a good rush inside.
Maybe he's supposed to elevate.
And the extra point is good. It is now 33-20.
Wow, it's a 2-score game.
And the number has exactly hit. I don't know how the gamblers should feel about this.
As the 53-point total hits the over. Tulsa still covering.
Onside kick, and Tulsa now. They got it at the 41.
They'll kneel this out. Will LA use their last time out? They may or may not. It won't matter. Congratulations to Tulsa.
They moved to 3-2 on the year. Los Angeles drops to 0-5 with the SFL season almost to the halfway point, Rick. Now you really start to hit the panic button.
That's a tough one. It's a tough one, no doubt.
Kneel down, and they do call the timeout.
They
Not
will
that that
run
matters.
timeout. You know, in terms of sort of a game analysis, right? Los Angeles lost one of their big hitters in Jack Flash, and Tulsa did what they needed to do, took advantage, and pressed forward. Gave up a couple of scores late, but you can argue they were getting some work in with backups and what have you. And this will be the last snap.
Here, kneel down and let the celebration begin.
Congratulations to Tulsa. I'm Rick Northrup on behalf of my play-by-play man, a.k.a. the talent, Colin Northrup. Thanks for watching and listening.
That's the end of the game. Final score, 33-20. Los Angeles is fun. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on NLSE. Thank you.
Thanks. That was a good game. That was fun. Fun. We got a little action there at the end of the fourth. Appreciate your help, Cam. Do a nice job as always. Absolutely. Colin, you could tell Colin reads off your stat sheets as he's calling the game. It's a thing of beauty. Appreciate you guys working together like that.
Welcome back to SFL Studios, where your final score is Los Angeles dropping the game to Tulsa 33-20, but it wasn't that close. It was 33-6 there before the backups came in. Prior to the backups coming in, Los Angeles' offense, 66 total yards in the second, third, and fourth quarters combined after they got off to a pretty good start. But, yeah, it was rough for L.A. They fall to 0-5, a disappointing season for the Lycans, and they can essentially start to pack their things for the big move in season 21 for the SFL coming up this July. Coming up next week on Next Level, it is a matchup between a new power and some old powers. The former three-time champion Florida Storm are trying to right the ship. They got off to an 0-4 start, but managed to get the victory last week to get to 1-4 and start to build some momentum in an upset win over Louisiana. They'll be welcoming in the 4-1 Minnesota Legend. Both teams are off their bye. Both teams are pretty dangerous with 2 weeks of prep for each other Johnny Reno and Ron Cochran will be doing battle tomorrow. Same time, same place here on Next Level Sports next Saturday. I mean, not tomorrow. 6:30 p.m. Eastern. It's Minnesota and Florida. Johnny Reno, Ron Cochran, Bullet Biletsky, Colin Hart, the whole gang will be there along with us and our crews, our broadcasters, our statisticians, everything you know and love about the SFL. That comes up next Saturday evening. For now, it's a Tulsa victory. It's a Fort Worth victory. They defeated Charleston 42-26 as they pulled away from that game handedly. Charleston drops to 1-5. They are also struggling. They hit their first bye week next week. Fort Worth is 3-2, now tied with Mexico City atop the South Division. Coming up later tonight on SFL YouTube, it's Baltimore and Houston at 9 Eastern. It's Jacksonville and Seattle at 9:15 in the Battle of the Purple. For all of us at the Simulation Football League, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been a presentation of the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports, and we will see you all next weekend. Oh, before I forget, if you want a recap of everything that happened last week in the SFL, that's coming up here on Next Level Sports at the top of the hour, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Me and Paul Sarp break down the week. We have highlights from all the games, analysis. Ashley Jackson has post-game interviews with the real-life players and coaches as well. So check that out if you want more SFL here on NLSE. From all of us at the Simulation Football League, I'm Cameron Irvine. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.